Soap carving. This project is based on the beautiful soapstone carvings of the Inuit. Animals of the Arctic are a common theme for this type of carving. The materials are paper, scissors, a pencil, toothpick is very handy, something to carve with, and the best soap seems to be ivory. I start by tracing my block of soap onto my paper. Now I'm going to start planning the design for the animal I want to carve. Think of this as a silhouette. I'm viewing my animal from the side. It's helpful to keep your drawing very simple and avoid small, fragile details. Now I cut out my rectangle. I'm going to scrape off the writing on the top of the block to make a smooth surface. I recommend having a piece of paper on your table to work over. It makes cleaning up later a lot easier. Now I'm going to take my pattern and lay it on top of the block of soap. I'm going to use my toothpick and poke little holes all around the line that I drew. I use my toothpick to gently connect the dots and create the outline of my animal. It's time to start carving. I went to the dollar store and found a 4-pack of nail files. I found that these worked really well as my carving tool. Take your time as you start to carve away the negative space. If you try to remove too much all at once, you might break your bar of soap. I'm slowly carving away soap until I reach the line that I drew. This nail file isn't very sharp, but it works really well cutting through the soap. I found it easier to carve pulling the file towards me. I try to wrap my hand around the carving and support the parts that I'm carving into, especially as I work on the more delicate parts like the flippers or the tail. When I'm removing small areas, I tend to use this notch technique. I come in from each side and take a triangular chunk out. Remember, you can't add pieces back. Once they're gone, so work slowly. I'm finally getting close to the outline I created. I'm working to make sure that the outline is balanced on both sides of my bar of soap. Now I have my profile carved on both sides of my block, and you can see the top still really looks like a rectangle. The next step is to start rounding it like you can see on my orca. I start by rounding the edges of my outline. I worked my way slowly around the block. I'm starting to look for places where my seal should be more narrow, like the nose. I'm going to use my notch technique again so that I can create the flippers in the back. I start with a very small V shape so that I don't break the soap. I'm going to make another notch in the front to create the flippers. I have to carve slowly and carefully on these thinner details. I continue to look for places where I can narrow the form from above. I think my seal is finally done. I've carved details from the side, from above, and from below. I enjoyed my soap carving so much I decided to try actual soapstone. You can order a kit online, and with a few hours and some safety precautions, you can create a beautiful sculpture.